is about one child who is apparently gonna turn 18 real soon. I don't know when he graduates from high school. When does he graduate?
Your Honor, I'm sorry. I apologize. He's gonna be 17 in February. I miscalculated his age,
Right.
but he will graduate next year,
All right, so he's 17.
correct?
He'll be 17 next month.
Will be,
He,
yeah.
he turns what, ma'am?
He'll be 17 next month.
All right, I had him at 18 next month, so, all right, we're dealing with a request from mother regarding child support. There was just a child support order entered in August. There was a deviation from 746 to 0. Reasons for the deviation were it was in the best interest of the family, and also the mother was granted the tax exemptions for the children. There's also another older a child that is no longer part of this. And I note in the order, there's nothing that makes it go beyond 2/6 of next year. Towards graduation, there's nothing put in as post-majority support. So what are we looking at? Why, I mean, what's different, ma'am? You still got the tax exemptions and stuff, so you wanna get rid of those and go to,
The tax exemptions were something that they put in that was not brought up to me. It was not part of our discussion. They put it in, which
so you don't want the tax exemptions?
I don't care either way, to be honest. It wasn't something that I asked for.
Well, why did you sign this agreement?
I did.
Well, then I expect that you knew that that was there.
I knew it was
Part of it.
there, but I
That was-
didn't
And that
realize.
was part of it, and it says in there, that's one of the reasons for deviation. And I mean, you're responsible for knowing what you signed, and that was part of the reason for deviation.
Okay, I
It was right
wasn't.
there, and you
supposed to
signed
have
it, it said, mother is granted tax exemptions. The value of the property or other support awarded instead of the payment of child support, that was a part of it.
Okay.
So. What are you saying? Dad gets every other weekend, child doesn't want to go to him, is that correct?
Yes,
That was my impression, yes.
What do you mean, was your impression? Either the child goes or not?
He doesn't go. I was told by the defendant that he's not welcome until he's willing to live by his stepmother's rules. And Benjamin and his stepmother do not get along at all, which is why why we decided for him to come to me.
Okay. And then you guys just, at the same time, 5 months ago, agreed to a deviation in child support for that time, and now, but you knew he was going to you then?
I did. What I did not know was that there were a lot of expenses that I did not expect right away. I restarted his therapy. I have to get him I had him evaluated for depression, anxiety.
You have insurance?
Yes, I have insurance. At the time, he was still on his stepmother's insurance, and I encountered problems with it. I spoke with the insurance company. They told me that they had been trying to get a hold of her and she was not responding. And so they would not cover the expenses.
How much did that result in?
The one doctor's appointment was about $1,200, and I also have medication costs now.
Well, is that covered by your insurance?
The medication, yes, but I still have to pay back the doctor's office for the $1,200. And there's also a back bill from his therapy that was not paid by his father which was about another $1,200.
When was that from?
I'm not sure. When I re-signed him up for therapy, I was told about it.
Your Honor, in the deviation agreement, the parties agreed that mom would pay 100% of the uninsured health care. I mean, this was negotiated between the parties. And
Why
so,
wouldn't a doctor's appointment be covered by his insurance?
It says you are do 100% of uninsured, basically.
Correct, but this is when he was still under the other insurance, not
All right,
mine.
so have you, why can't you resubmit that, Ms. Jernigan?
well, that's, Your Honor, part of the negotiations was that plaintiff was gonna take over the cost of medical insurance. And that's,
This is January 1.
let's see. Yeah, so if there's any back bills, she can get them to me and we would resubmit them. But as of January 1, yes, she's responsible. That's correct.
Okay, get the back bills to Ms. Jernigan and we'll work on seeing whether it's covered or not.
And then anything under the previous order would be as divided.
Any that's not, covered.
Correct. Yeah, and yeah, we would be more than willing to work with that.
Get her the bills, Ms. Wetters.
Okay,
And so then what? Ms.
well,
I mean, it seems to me like 5 months ago you agreed to this and now you wanna change it, and I don't know what the change of circumstance or proper cause, change of circumstance is to change the prior child support order.
well, the fact that he's actually seeing a doctor now, he hadn't seen a doctor in 4 years. He had to, or at least pre-pandemic, I had to get him like 4 or 5 immunizations all at the same doctor's appointment to catch him up.
Well, now, wait a minute, who had custody of this child before?
Matthew.
What?
Matthew.
Exclusively? What was your
Yeah.
time with it?
I had weekends and Wednesdays for the past 4 or 5 years.
And so when you were dealing with this, you had no idea of anything what is going on with your son?
I inquired about his COVID immunizations. I was told that he got them, and I found out that was not correct. And also our previous agreement said that the father had sole decision-making as far as medical treatments goes.
He had sole legal custody?
We share legal, but he had sole physical, basically.
Yeah, that, shared legal means you shared, all that information. That's what it means. You had as much right to any of that information as he did.
Well, not according to our agreement.
What do you mean? It's
In the
all legal.
agreement, it expressly stated that I was not allowed to make medical decisions, that his father was the only one.
That was in the divorce?
That was in our last agreement when we split the children up.
It's in a court order?
Yep.
Of what date?
I don't know I
All right.
think it was from October of 2020, I want to say. It was when I got custody of Madeline.
All right, Ms. Jernigan, what's your position on this?
Your Honor, the parties have had a long history with the court. The docket's quite long, the report. I don't know of any past orders that I didn't work on. Perhaps my client could speak to that, but it's my understanding the child had the COVID immunizations.
He had one of them. He had one of them, and the Michigan Ticker website does not show anything else. When I brought him to the doctor, he was behind on 4 immunizations of regular ones.
Ms. Jernigan's gonna ask you again, it's your floor to talk.
I would just say if there's any medical bills that need to be addressed, if the plaintiff mom can send those to me, and then we can go from there. I mean, we're not gonna be unreasonable on this issue.
Okay? You just heard that. I think that's appropriate, because I think you just reached an agreement, and I don't think there's any change of circumstances really that you shouldn't or couldn't have known about when you made this decision for the deviation. Otherwise, it just becomes nothing. I enter an order and then turn around and get rid of it. And you're saying, well, I didn't want it or anything to do with the tax exemptions. I don't find that to be very credible. I don't think there's a change of circumstance to review child support, but I do think that all medical bills and whatnot from prior to now, from prior to January 1st, will be exchanged with you, and if they are not taken care of, ma'am, you can renotice this motion, because I'm gonna make him responsible for some type of the prior medical bills and stuff like that. All right, I'm not gonna make you pay those in its entirety. All right, maybe 50%, I don't know, but you're gonna get some help on those. All right, because those were his responsibility at that time. All right, and if his wife was not doing what she was supposed to get him paid, that falls on him. All right, so I'll give you, till 2 weeks from now to get her the medical bills. See if you can reach with something. If you can't, you can renotice this motion, even though it's a child support one. Just send a renotice, send in what's going on with the medical stuff and why I should rule on it.
Okay,
All right?
appreciate it. Thank you.
I think we sent you an email. I have your email. If you could just please email me or call my office, and we can make sure we get those bills from you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good luck. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you,
Thanks.
Your Honor.
Thank you.